Moscow, Idaho. A quiet college town where doors were left unlocked and life felt safe. But on November 13, 2022, everything changed. 4 students, Madison Mogan, Kaylee Goncalves, Zana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were found murdered in their off-campus home. The community was shattered, left with a single question: why? Police swarmed the scene, yellow tape marking a house that had been full of laughter just hours before. Candlelight vigils replaced football games, grief replaced routine. The details were chilling: the students stabbed in their beds, no signs of forced entry, no clear motive. 2 roommates slept through the attack, waking to horror. Fear swept the town, locks checked, glances over shoulders. The investigation began. Detectives combed through tips, digital footprints, and surveillance footage. The killer seemed to vanish without a trace. Weeks passed with no answers, only silence and growing dread. The families waited, the nation watched. The peaceful town was now a place of anxiety and suspicion. The question of who could do such a thing hung over Moscow like a fog. Detectives searched for a ghost, a phantom who had slipped in and out of the night. The community held its breath, desperate for justice, and somewhere a killer was still out there. The break came from a single clue: a white Hyundai Elantra seen near the crime scene. Investigators traced the car across the country, following a trail that led to Pennsylvania. There they found Bryan Kohberger, a 28-year-old criminology PhD student. He drove the same car. On December 30, 2022, Kohberger was arrested in a pre-dawn raid. The nation was stunned. The suspect was a student of crime itself. Evidence mounted. Cell phone data placed him near the victim's home, his phone going dark during the murders. A knife sheath left at the scene held DNA matching Kohberger. The ghost now had a face. Kohberger was extradited to Idaho, maintaining his innocence as the legal process began. The families braced for a long, painful trial. The world watched, waiting for answers. The case became a national obsession. The search for justice had finally begun. But the pain for the families was just beginning. July 3, 2025. The Lata County Courthouse was packed. Bryan Kohberger entered, flanked by attorneys. His demeanor changed. The victims' families sat in the front row, bracing for another battle. But something unexpected happened. Kohberger's attorney stood. "Your Honor, my client wishes to change his plea." A gasp rippled through the courtroom. The judge asked, "How do you plead?" Kohberger, voice low, replied, "Guilty." The word echoed. A single, shattering moment. Tears and shock filled the room. The fight was over. The confession had come. In exchange for the plea, the death penalty was off the table. Kohberger would serve 4 consecutive life sentences, no parole. For the families it meant no trial, no appeals, no more reliving the horror. It wasn't victory, but it was an ending. The gavel fell. Justice, in some form, was done. The community could finally begin to heal. The long nightmare had a name, and a conclusion. News of the guilty plea brought a wave of relief and sorrow to Moscow. The legal battle was over, but the loss remained. The why might never be known, but the who was finally certain. Headlines flashed. Kohberger pleads guilty. The families faced cameras, their grief raw but resolute. Steve Goncalves, Kaylee's father, spoke. "Today is not a celebration. It's a punctuation mark at the end of a horrific story, but it's not the end of our children's story." The community began to breathe again. The house on King Road was scheduled for demolition, a symbolic step toward healing. The University of Idaho established scholarships in the victims' names. Their legacy would be one of hope, not violence. Moscow's silence was no longer one of fear but of reflection. The town, forever changed, began to heal, and the world remembered 4 young lives gone too soon.